Oh, Sonic CD, everyone's favorite Sonic game. Wait, what did Sonic do again?
Whoa there. Why are we using someone else's music?
Sorry, Matt Pat. I really like the song.
I'm gonna have to redo another intro for the next episode then.
Sorry, guys. Hello, everyone. I'm Ron.
And you already know who I am.
And welcome to the new series, Sonic Theory. The show where we take your favorite internet series, Game Theory, throw it in the closet, lock the door, grab a baseball bat, and show copyrights who's boss.
So what Ron is trying to say is that Sonic Theory is a new series hosted by the Emerald Lake Gamers for, say, us, and we take our beloved Blue Hedgehog and destroy his entire concept. Look, I'm assuming you already know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Sonic CD is the one and only Sonic game for the Sega CD, which was basically the extra installment to the Frankenstein video game console, the Sega Genesis Model 2. The Genesis Model 2 had a compartment where you could hook up the Sega CD system to the Genesis, and it allowed you to play CD-ROMs.
So, it was a life support for the Sega Genesis?
Well, technically, yes. The Sega CD was kind of created to continue to keep the Sega Genesis relevant for the time. I mean, keep in mind the Genesis was released long before the Super Nintendo.
Okay, so where are we getting at this? What does this have to do with Sonic CD?
Why are you asking me that? Didn't you write this episode? With the Sega CD add-on, it only made the Genesis graphics better, but it also allowed for the music to be upgraded as well.
Oh, okay, so with the new and improved music, Sega jumped at the idea to put awesome music with their blue mascot, and thus Sonic CD was born, and with the concept that Sonic could time travel using the power of the Time Stones.
I'll talk more about that later, so here's the story of Sonic CD. The game focuses on Sonic as he infiltrates a once peaceful, but now mechanized little planet. And no, this has nothing to do with Little Big Planet. That's like arguing that having a Sonic doll suddenly means that it's a canon game. Stop it, people. Seriously. No, I'm talking about the little planet that appears over Never Lake once a month, out of every year. So Dr. Eggman, Sonic's nemesis, uses the planet's time-traveling properties, the Time Stones, to make the little planet his own headquarters. He's also made Sonic's robotic counterpart Metal Sonic to capture Amy Road. Sonic must travel through time, save Amy, and foil Dr. Eggman's plan to bring peace back to the little planet. Or does he?
Sounds like a lot for just one hedgehog, but in order for Sonic to save the day, as Dr. Black said, Sonic must utilize the power of the Time Stones to go back in time and stop Eggman from making a bad future for the planet. But did Sonic actually make a good future in the end?
Oh, whatever do you mean? Of course, we're dealing with Sonic here, the unstoppable, able to destroy everything, whole fleets, whole armies, doesn't really matter, and still somehow finishes breakfast in the middle of it. Yep.
What I mean is, with that information I'm about to provide, we'll show that Sonic never made a good future for the planet. So let's go to a certain stage of the game, Stardust Speedway Stage 3 Bad Future. But we're going to go and take a look at the Japanese version of the stage and review the footage.
Here we go. So that's the bad future. Darker background, more purple, funkier. Let's see what the good future looks like.
Okay, so now the background has a completely different design from the last one. It's more of a light and calm blue color, with more of an upbeat to the music.
Okay, so the bad and good future right now in the game is completely up to the player.
Right, but now let's head to Sonic Generations, the supposed canon game of all canon games. And let's take a look at the Metal Sonic battle.
Already ahead of you.
Look and sound familiar?
Whoa.
But that's not all. Let's see what happens when you beat the game with all the Time Stones.
Sonic saves the little planet by sending it into a Michael Bay explosion.
Seems legit. But now time for more evidence of Sonic's laziness saving the little planet.
That background is becoming a recurring thing.
Not only that, but the planet is intact and not blown to pieces. But that's all the evidence I have right now. Dr. Bleh, give us your final thoughts and let's take this puppy home.
Okay, so, with all the evidence in front of me here, I'm not really sure what to make of it entirely. I've got two arguments as to where Sega was trying to go with this. Either one, Sega doesn't care about story pretty much like they've been since 2001, or there's some kind of weird implication on how they wanted to change the story for the future. Just, not actually let us know they were changing the story. Basically meaning that perhaps Sonic destroyed the chain, but he never actually did anything to the little planet. He just destroyed the chain, got Amy, and then left. Or, they just decided to go ahead and use the more visually appealing background and just didn't care, like I said before. Whichever one. I'd like an explanation of some kind, but this is Sega we're talking about. So we'll probably get an explanation for why they used the Bad Future background around the time Sonic Adventure 3 comes out.
But hey, that's just a theory.
Let me explain something to you people. A theory requires it to be scientifically tested. This is a hypothesis, which is probably about as good as we're going to do with how Sega decides to write the stories these days. Yeah, I know I sound like a broken record, but the implications of this are pretty high, and it just makes me wonder if they even care anymore. Yeah, there I go saying it again, wondering if they care.